First prolonged injury?
Yeah, like one that I had to get surgery for.
What was it like just coming back finally to the barn?
It was nice. It was nice to be able to be back at the barn for sure. Have that energy and just honestly being back with the whole team. It's a lot better to be able to play than have to sit down and watch. So it wasn't a whole lot of time, but it was enough to get our feet in the sand a little bit.
Sophie, how did it feel for you to be back? I mean, you watched the last, 6-7 games?
Yeah, I mean, it was super fun. Joyous is kind of what I said on radio. So just great to be back out there. This team's so much fun to play with, so can't ask for much more.
I mean, the layoff didn't seem to hurt you. I think you made your first, 3 shots in the first 2 minutes. I mean, how did it feel to be back?
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time with rehab. Our medical staff here are great. So appreciative of them. So I feel a lot stronger. I feel more athletic when I'm out there. Yeah.
Did you guys learn anything when you were kind of on the sidelines, like get a different perspective of the game almost?
Yeah, I think for me, and I've said it before, is just how much I love to play and just how much joy it brings me. And I think especially I tried to smile more on the court. Obviously, I know I'm hard on myself, so got to give myself a little bit of grace. But it's definitely it's different to be able to be on the court. And like Soph said, this team's just so much fun to play with.
Or, I mean, you were gone for a long time. Did you feel like some rust with just kind of getting the flow of things?
Yeah, I'm still working that shot back a little bit. It's just, I think the confidence will just come with it. Obviously, like I said, give myself a little grace and know that it'll come back game by game and just keep shooting it.
It seems like you get like a big weight off your shoulder when you had that first, when you kind of smiled, spun around. Could you just take me through what you were feeling when you finally hit that one in such a long time?
It feels good. It feels good to see it go through, especially in a game. Obviously been practicing for a little bit now, but a game's just a different feeling. So that one definitely felt good. The first one felt good too. So just like I said, just keep shooting it and hopefully we'll get that back.
Clearly the coach had you guys on a pretty strict halftime minutes limit. I mean, do you feel like if you continue to progress this tournament that can get ramped up in a kind of a gradual way? Yeah,
we'll just have to check back with our trainers. Obviously they know what to do. We'll just listen to them and just keep progressing. I think that's kind of where we're going with it. But like I said, just checking with them tomorrow and see what they want from us.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we kind of had the answer too, but unfortunately it's kind of day by day for both of us, I think.
You guys both come out of it feeling good?
Yeah.
As far as the team goes, very strong start. Was the second half, it just didn't seem like you guys were on the same level as you were in the first? Was that just because you were up big and you maybe relaxed a little bit, or what do you think happened there?
I mean, I think basketball is a game of runs, They definitely came out and gave us a little bit of a punch in the face, so we battled back well, I thought. Honestly, we haven't played a game in a little bit, so there's a little bit of chemistry that wasn't quite clicking. At least I felt that way, so it'll get better as we go in the tournament, I feel like.
So if you start 5 for 5 tomorrow, obviously in that big long-range three, kind of to get yourself going, it seemed like every time you guys came back in, there was a smile on your face. You guys were excited to go out there and play basketball. Talk about just being happy to be out there in front of the fans at home, playing at the barn.
Yeah, it was just funny. Jason would give me the look because I'm just sitting there like, okay, when is it going to be time? Watching the clock go down. But, yeah, he just gives me the look, and he said just go get buckets. So it was just fun to be able to feel that joy, and sometimes you lose that, I think, and not really, I don't know, just sitting on the bench, not even being able to sub in is just a whole different feeling, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of compared her to a little kid on Christmas and patiently waiting their turn to open a present. Like, she just was like, wow, let me back in. And, just to come back here, the fans, everyone's Sophie, it's just such a great community to be around. So much fun to play with the team. So, yeah, just like I said, joyous, It's so hard when you're sitting there, you can't experience it in the same way. So, very happy.
Get a rematch with North Dakota State now. been a long time since you played them. I would imagine you feel like you're a different team, and they're probably going to be a little bit of a different team too. I mean, what do you recall from that first matchup?
They're tough. I think the biggest thing I remember is splitting my eyebrow open over here. So just adding to some scars on my body lately. But no, they're tough. Good team. They can shoot it. They're long. They're athletic, aggressive. So it'll be a good matchup, and I know they'll be ready to take it to us. But it'll be a good game.
Thanks, guys. Bring coach now.
Well, first and foremost, very, very thankful to our administration, Mark Coyle, Julie Manning, Joy Thomas for making this happen, for allowing us to host this game. And that certainly was great for us to have an opportunity to shake some rust off, if you will. It's been a while since our entire team has played. It's been 19 days. And then certainly I think for Mara, close to 8 or around the 8-week mark, and for Sophie, about 5, a little over 5 weeks. So I thought our young ladies really did a great job of coming out with a lot of energy. I thought we've had some very good weeks of practice kind of leading up to the tournament, and I thought we carried that over into game action. So thought our young ladies responded and played really hard. Pacific's a very, very good team, and it's hard. They're hard to play against because of how aggressive they are and how hard they play and how much they get after it and the energy that they play with. So, certainly they've had an incredible season and feel very fortunate to come out on top and feel like they helped us to continue to understand how hard we have to play, because it's really important at any time of the year, but certainly in tournament time. So really excited about the opportunity to keep playing at home on Friday against an opponent that we know a little bit, certainly from playing against them, and have a lot of respect for NDSU. I think they've had a great conference tournament, played really, really well, and certainly in the tournament so far have done a great job when they played really well against Montana just the other night. So looking forward to an opportunity and excited to have our young ladies back.
How much did the return of those two players affect the team, not just in terms of how many points they were scoring, but what kind of space it created for everybody else?
Well, it changes a lot of things, and I give a lot of our young ladies a great deal of credit too, because it changes roles and how players are what capacity they're in and what that assignment looks like. Now there's someone who picks the ball up, but now there's somebody who's back, but now Mara's back and she's doing that, so now they're back to picking the ball up or going into offensive rebound, and so it changes a lot of things. And I think our young ladies certainly responded to that at a very, very high level, and that was great to see.
Mara was saying that she could feel the layoff a little bit in her shot, and she feels it'll come back. It's kind of a strange. Sophie didn't look like she'd missed a minute. I think she made her first 5 shots. Can you just talk about kind of where they were at as they returned?
Well, I think as we've seen them in practice, and I would say this, I think in Mara's defense, it's a lot harder to be playing the minutes that we're playing her right now, 2 minutes in, 2 or 3 minutes out, and then go out and hit an arc shot. Maybe a little bit easier with a closer yard to the basket. And I thought Sophie played great and did a lot of great things for us, but that's not an easy thing to do, what we're asking her to do. And again, trying to be smart and trying to get her into a rhythm, but we're really not letting her get into a rhythm when you can only play a couple minutes at a time. So we'll look at that and see what makes the most sense moving forward. But I think as we've watched them in practice, it's been interesting because they're kind of little moments here and there where you see them back at almost where they were before, and then there are other times where they're not quite able to do some of the things at the same level, whether that's, and most of it is just kind of balance things. You haven't been pushing off. You haven't been in a hard defensive stance. You haven't been in some of those situations in quite a few weeks. And so that will come back, and that's going to come back quickly for them, especially now that they're more regular in practice and in game situations.
So in the weeks leading up to this game, what has been like their participation in practice, and how have you kind of been slowly acclimating them to the game setting?
Well, they actually got cleared to practice with us not even full practice, but cleared to practice with us in a team setting probably just a few practices ago, in all reality. So the fact that they've kind of ramped it up and are back in game action and playing as well as they are is really, really impressive. You can tell that during the time that they weren't on the court practicing or on the court playing in games, they were locked in, they were watching, and they were getting reps in a different way. They were getting mental reps at that point in time, and certainly that has helped them.
Can you talk a little bit about Grace tonight? I mean, her progression. I think she only had 4 points tonight, but she also had 5 boards and 5 assists. So kind of how she's progressed from being able to do more than, even when she's not able to get going on offense.
Right. I think she played really hard. She played really well, and I think defensively she made a lot of things happen for us. And she's one of those players that when Mara's in the game, Mara's taking the ball out of bounds against a press, and it puts Grace in a little different position, and then all of a sudden Mara's back on the bench, and now she has to remember to take the ball out of bounds. And those things may seem like, well, that's not that big of an adjustment, but it's a huge adjustment, and being locked in and making sure we get into the right spacing and those type of things. And so I give her a lot of credit because that's not easy to do for any player who's been doing it for a while, but to do that as a freshman is really tough to do, and I thought she did a good job of it.
How was it for you getting back onto the court for a few seconds as you got that loose ball?
Yeah, really quick. Didn't you see that? Yeah. Thankful. Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Mara was talking about how she kept looking over to the trainer like, now, did you have a little bit of that going too? Or did somebody just say, Coach, she can go in now? Or how did you decide that you were going to do that?
Well, we were given instructions kind of in terms of minutes, and we're trying to figure out how to be smart about doing that. And we'll go back and evaluate and make sure that she's feeling well enough to keep doing what we are doing, or if we want to modify slightly. But, I think it's hard to be a rhythm shooter when we were kind of probably screwing up her rhythm a lot by trying to be smart about getting her in there for a little bit of time and then get her back out and then get her back in there. That's a very difficult thing to do. And I thought she handled that at a very, very high level.
How do you kind of manage Mara's it seems like she's very antsy and eager to get back playing. How do you kind of manage that as a coach? I assume you want what's best for her.
Well, Mara Braun being healthy is the number one concern. That's the bottom line. Yeah, and being out on the court is great, but of course she'd be happy to play 40 minutes. That's not what's smart for her at this point in time. And so, we've got to make sure that she's feeling good again tomorrow and move forward, and hopefully we can continue progressing. But we're really thankful that we have the staff that we do, the professional, the doctors who are taking care of her and overseeing, and our athletic trainer, Steve Patterson, and the time that he puts in and is with these kids. It's just amazing how much time he's put in this season to our players and continues to do so. Right now, Kennedy Click is still working to come back, and Ayanna Johnson working to come back, and hopefully we get her back quickly. But at this time of the season, there are a lot of things that kind of happen. There's a hit, and all of a sudden someone's ankle is tweaked, and now there's another bang, and there's someone whose neck is sore, and someone whose shoulder is sore, and someone who's this and some of that. So there's a lot, and that's not just our team, that's every team. But for him to work through and work to keep our young ladies out on the court as much as possible is something that we certainly appreciate while he does for us.
One or two more.
Big lead, I think 22 points at one point, 20 points at halftime. Did you feel like maybe the team kind of let up a little bit in the second half, unconsciously?
Well, I don't know if it's that or if it's Pacific. I thought did a really good job of attacking. I think having Elliott on the bench in the first half in foul trouble gave us an opportunity to play a little bit differently. Maybe they weren't able to get it inside as much. I thought they were able to get it inside a little bit more. I thought they attacked and got along the baseline and created some opportunities that way against us. So I think they were really aggressive. Could it be that, we weren't quite as locked in? I don't know. We've got to figure that out because we got to get better defensively at the same time.
That non-conference schedule, you had 4 or 5 games in 11 days. How does that prepare you for this sort of quick turnaround?
Yeah, it's important that we've seen it at some point in time, and we were able to do that, as you mentioned, during the non-conference, and that's again really, really important. We're really excited to have an opportunity, and we have one more game at home, and that's what we know at this point in time, and so we're excited for that.